Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome ANCA Western Region Board Member Hermine Pachanians and ANCA Western Region Board Advisor Levon Kiragosa.
Moreno Ocampo remains one of the most influential voices of our time in the fight for genocide prevention. Ocampo made history in 2003 when he became the first prosecutor of the International Criminal Court. This past year, Ocampo directed his trademark brief to raising awareness about Armenia and the people of Artsakh, speaking before Congress for the Tom Lantos Human Rights Commission to urge the United States to intervene in the name of peace and to prevent genocide. History will remember Ocampo as a true champion of human rights. His willingness to speak truth to power will inspire generations to come. It is with great pride and grateful hearts that the ANCA Western Region honors Luis Moreno Ocampo with the 2023 Champion of International Justice Award.
to support your cause, and this is a big honor for me. I was involved in many international crimes. I was investigating Gaddafi, genocide in Darfur, and since August, I am trying to help you, but not helping you Armenians. I'm trying to protect humanity, because what happened here is a genocide. And I'd like to explain to you very clearly why it's important that you use the word genocide. I know for you genocide was 1915, and it was a genocide. But in fact, 1915 and Holocaust produced a convention of genocide, making genocide an international crime. And it's very important because this treaty forced the countries adopted the duty to prevent and to punish. To prevent and to punish. So there are 153 countries in the world, members of the treaty, and they have the obligation to prevent genocide against Armenia and to punish. That's why ethnic cleansing is a nice word, it's a poetic expression, but it's not producing legal impact. It's still genocide forced, for instance, Israel to stop selling weapons to Azerbaijan. And stop the European Union making Aliyev a truth-working partner. That's what the president of the Commission of the European Union called Aliyev in 2022 a truth-worthy partner. So, because, you know what? And that's the most appealing thing. Politicians make agreements for what they call geopolitical reasons. And for Europe, having energy from Azerbaijan is replacing Russia. You know how much energy came from Azerbaijan? How much oil is for Europe from Azerbaijan? 2.1%. 2.1%. They are selling the fuel for 2.1%. And gas, 2.7%. So basically, The European Union has to really change. I was on Tuesday at the European Union Parliament working on that. So let me present two things, because I want to be brief. What we did, because my friends from Buenos Aires and García Calian asked me to make an analysis of what happened in Nagorno-Karabakh in August. I analyzed the problem. I said, this is genocide. Genocide is different than 1915, but it's still genocide. Genocide has 5 different forms to commit. One of these forms is to create conditions to destroy the group. We don't need results there. And that was the Lachin corridor blockade. A genocide by starvation. You don't need results. And then, we say that in August. In fact, it has impact. As you someone say, when we produce this report, the media start to talk about that. And Chris Smith, a member of the House, invited me to the Tom Lantos Commission to discuss the topic. And I told him, look, you should send a letter to President Biden. He did it. And Global Arm was helping me to have connections with the Senate Foreign Affairs Committee. And we discussed with them for 2 hours why is genocide. And they took the idea, and then they created the meeting inviting Ambassador Kim. Global Arm also organized a meeting with Ambassador Kim, and we discussed a week before her appearance why what US was doing was completely unacceptable. And it's interesting because when she went to the Senate, she adjusted and she promised, US promised officially before the senator that they will protect the rights of the Nagorno-Karabakh people. Aliyev, but was too late. Aliyev was ready, and then he moved, and he removed the people. It's ethnic cleansing, but it's genocide. Please, call it genocide. Because you can read the book of Samantha Power, where she explained how, since Armenia 1915, consistently, US made enormous efforts to ignore genocide. Because if they accept the genocide, they have to prevent and to punish. And they don't like to make efforts on that. So, I understand why the US is not talking about genocide, but Armenians should talk about genocide. Please, it's not 1915, in the same way that Hamas genocide against Israelis in October 7 is just 1,400 people, but it's a genocide. It's not the same as Holocaust, but it's a genocide. So, what's the problem today? Today there are different problems. 55 people in jail. And because of genocide, we don't need to prove they're innocent. There is no way a judge in Azerbaijan will release them on the merits because there are no charges. And no judge in Azerbaijan will contradict Aliyev. In fact, in the report 2022, the State Department said that there is no independent justice in Azerbaijan. So the only way to release the people, even the former Minister of Foreign Affairs that we invited here last year, the only way is to transform this into a brutal international campaign, forcing the state to prevent genocide. Preventing genocide required, and France is promising that, France is requesting that people from Nagorno-Karabakh can go back. I was in Paris last Wednesday, talking to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. There are things to do there. I was on Tuesday in the European Union Parliament. They are willing to support. I'm very glad to see the mayor of Los Angeles here, because last Friday, 2 days ago, I was in Paris, and the mayor of Paris is launching a brutal campaign asking to release the 55 Baku hostages. They are hostages. Why these people are hostages? They did nothing wrong. They're just a victim of genocide. And they're hostages because Aliyev is sending a message. If you are Armenian and try to go back to Nagorno-Karabakh, you will be humiliated, incarcerated, and killed. That's the message. And in fact, it's working. Today, for the first time in 1,000 years, there are no Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh. But that will change. The genocide prevention, the genocide is about prevention and punishment. Now Armenia is a member of the International Criminal Court since January next year. So we could punish Aliyev, we can put Aliyev in jail in the ICC, but it will take years. In the meantime, the real work is twofold. Is to keep the spirit. That's why, thank you for this dinner. You have to keep together, keep fighting, and do a specific things. On the general things, I really believe you should do more art to send your message. It's a beautiful movie called Aurora Sunrise. It's a beautiful movie. Who saw the movie? What's the movie? Yes, it's a beautiful movie. So the movie should be in the schools, not just in the Armenian schools, in any school in the US, in the world. So I like the idea to promote, transform the movie into a tool for schools to educate about the Armenian 1950 genocide. Another art, Americazzi. Americazzi is not about genocide. Americazzi is about, you know, Armenia goes back to the Soviet Union. But Americazzi was presented by Armenia to the Oscar nomination. And on December 16, in 1 month, the Academy had to decide if Americazzi is one of the 15 finalists. So you have to push for this movie. Do theater, do whatever you can. I don't know what you can, but do whatever you can to discuss Armenia. The movie is a perfect occasion, and the movie officially nominated by Armenia to win the Oscar. December 16 is the selection of the 15 finalists. January will be the 5 nominees, and then March will be the Oscar. That's the path. Get the Oscar for Americazzi, and then Armenia. And we have many things to do. One of the persons that we will award is a young lawyer from Chicago. He's doing cases against Aliyev and his people. We need to support this in a global way. I like the idea to produce a litigation fund to support these people, doing investigation and promoting movies, promoting trials around the world, not just against Aliyev, against the companies and helping Azerbaijan to transfer Russia. I think there are many reasons to do investigation and trials, and there are many Armenians around the world who can do it. We need to have a center based, and the Center for Justice will help with that, to have all the information together and then disseminate the information. And also we need to do coordinated efforts. For me, part of my impression the last 3 months is I work with Armenians in Australia, in France, in Brazil, in Argentina, in Los Angeles, who are different than in New York and different than Washington. So it's a pleasure, and I see each of you have different ideas, but all of you are committed to protect Armenia. And I think that's a common denominator, and I really love the idea to support it. And not just me, it's not just me. The world is in disarray. What's happening in Israel, Palestine is a disaster. I have a friend of mine who here, who is Jew, who will be absolutely delighted to support us and work together. So it's not just about Armenia. It's about establishing a world where genocide is really not accepted. It's really never again. So please. What happened today in Nagorno-Karabakh is genocide. Aliyev is trying to commit genocide against the cities which are represented here, because that's the beginning of the invasion of Armenia. So we need to make clear, never again. Never again should not be a promise. We have to make it a reality. Thank you very much.